Hey everybody, welcome back to Divinity Original Sin. This is part 5. Last episode we escaped the Fort Joy ghetto, and now we are in the marshes, I think.
The cat purrs loudly as it curls itself
So I
around your
think I said in an early episode,
Looks like
if
you've
you
got
get the
yourself a
cat
new
to
pet.
survive through Fort Joy, he actually becomes a familiar that you can summon. There it is. It is pretty useful. I mean, it's not the best summon you have, but I mean, you can warp to him, so you can summon him. He gets to move. You can take him to a non-elemental zone. So if you want to get out of poison or fire, summon your cat, move him, switch places. Kind of useful. So now we're gonna head up and try to complete a quest for Ivan and Sibyl.
The serenity in the eyes of the granite statue seemed to infuse the air around the shrine. This place feels like a refuge from all harm, a place where fortune favors the fleeing. For the first time in what feels like forever, you feel safe. You know this is the statue's gift. You know the feeling will not last, but you are grateful nonetheless. You feel the statue smile. You feel it. As you near a figure clad in old blackened armor, Sibyl takes your hand and gives it a squeeze.
I've a feeling yonder creepy crawly is the lone wolf I've been looking for. You wouldn't mind if I asked him a few pertinent questions, would you? I'll do my very, very best.
Sibyl addresses the solitary figure. You hear but whispers and hisses in return. Just when you think a fight is about to break out, Sibyl's words seem to sway him into submission. He speaks uncomfortably. She listens, her face hard and pale. His name, you overhear her insist. Roost, he croaks. And with that, the interview's over.
Come, let's go. I have what I came for. I found out who abducted me, who delivered me to the Master. I'm going to find the man who did that, and we're going to get mightily reacquainted.
Loping up behind you, Ivan leans in to whisper in your ear.
Let me do the talking here. This one's expecting me.
The hooded man exudes an aura of restrained menace. As he raises his head to speak to Ivan, the hood falls back, revealing the gleaming bone visage of an undead. They speak in urgent whispers. Suddenly, the undead's bony claw pulls an elaborate crossbow from seeming thin air. It appears to be enveloped in misty shade. He proffers it to Ivan, along with a single rank-smelling arrow. Before you know it, the crossbow and arrow are tucked away in Ivan's backpack, and the conversation ends with a curt nod on both sides. Ivan knocks the crossbow with an arrow. He hoists it up to his shoulder. A satisfied
Care to fire the first arrow from Shadow's Eye?
The arrow soars long and far, whistling a dusky tune as it flies against the breeze. It hits the target dead on, fletchings quivering with the impact. Ivan whistles a matching tune and gives you an admiring glance as he takes back the crossbow.
Knew you had it in you. A good weapon's one thing, but there's nothing on Riverland like a good companion. Let's go. We'll be harder to track if we keep in motion.
He spins on one heel and begins to stride onwards, keen eyes scouring the environment for any dangers. He turns to wave you along, eyes glittering in the swampy gloom. The hooded man exudes a restrained menace that near matches your own.
Be not frightened of me, delicate-fleshed one. There's far worse than my bite in this quagmire. Perhaps I can even offer some aid, if you've the coin. Do you desire trinkets from the ancients? For the smallest of costs, I'll tell you. Barely a trifle. I only stock the best baubles, the choicest curios. Take a look. Precious wares, are they not?
Ah, that scent. Unmistakable. How did noxious bulbs end up here?
I've spotted something. These plants look truly sinister. They're arranged in a ring. Is that a natural occurrence?
This is what I consider probably the first major battle that you run into. If you're not prepared, it's actually really, really tough. This fight kind of wiped my party in the early access because I wasn't ready for it. So I actually did a cut. I'm trying to cut all the inventory stuff out, but I moved all my stuff around, make sure everyone was preps. But it's just the Voidwoken like crawlers, so it's not too difficult if you're ready for it. And they keep coming, and I think you get 3 waves of them. And then once it's done, the divine god of whatever race that you're playing as, so in my case, I believe Duma, will cast Bless on the ground. So also becomes difficult if you have an undead character in your party, because Bless will actually, or the Blessed Water, I think is what it is, will actually damage them. Very unfortunate. So keep that in mind if you're playing with any undead characters.
Fall, die, pass away. Your essence feeds us. You will not be spared. Your time is up. Squash the vermin, hang the thieves. Ours, ours, you are ours. We are the many and the all. first. We were first.
These beasts are damn persistent.
They can keep calling us vermin, but we'll just keep putting them down.
We are the beginning and the end. We will return. find me.
All I seek right now is a way out of here.
The corpses of voidlings lie in heaps around you, a miasma of cursed fluid pooling at your feet.
Those filthy beasts were like rats. A swarm most vile, but vanquished as a matter of course.
No worse than a death fog nightmare. Ichor and madness, and then it's all over.
They came wave after wave after wave. Relentless. Jolly good fun, actually.
It was madness! Big fire boom, lightning crash! One moment sun, the next I feel darkness inside me, then noise! So much noise! Clank, moan, clink, groan! I hid in a stump. I'm not a stupid squirrel. I have much stowed away for hard times. But I saw them! I saw the shinies! Shinies! Darkness left, then light again. Warm. Saw glints in sand and dirt. Can't go there now. Salamanders. They like the meat. I don't want to be meat. Don't eat shinies, but I like to look at them. They make happy.
So we're going to skip these salamanders for now. They are a lot tougher than that Voidwoken ambush we just fought, and we are nowhere near equipped. Now, granted, my philosophy of role-playing games like this are to be overpowered, over-leveled, over everything. I don't like to have to really struggle too much. But we're going to skip the salamanders, and we've reached the Seeker encampment.
A lone lizard woman overlooks the marshes. Her stare is as sharp as the bolt eyeing you from atop her crossbow.
Stand back and keep your hands off your weapons. Convince me you're no magister, or draw one last deep breath.
Her eyes go wide with delight upon your mentioning Han.
May the goddess keep you for saving that little Lionheart. Young Han told me the story of his rescue. Oh, you are most welcome indeed.
With one graceful motion, the lizard throws down a tangled mess of vines for you to climb.
Come, ascend to the sanctuary of Amadia. You'll find you're not the only guest here, but the Great Mother provides for all.
The Red Prince interrupts as you're about to speak.
This woman is a dreamer. I can see the answers spinning in her eyes. Do rest your legs for a bit while I question her. You're too kind.
Red Prince and the Dreamer exchange courteous pleasantries, as if they're finding themselves in a palace hall instead of a death-ridden swamp. She introduces herself as Bahara. To your surprise, they next lie down on the ground in a seemingly warm embrace and fall asleep. What follows, though, is far from peaceful. They claw and thrash as if struggling for dear life, caught in the hold of some hideous nightmare. Then they wake, haggard, exhausted. They speak of a vision, Brahmos, and another red lizard.
Praise the daylight. I am now. There was death in that dream, chasing me like 100 hungry lions. But at least I've new directions. When we escape and find ourselves on the mainland once more, I must search for Brahmos the Wanderer. Then I will finally know the truth, the very secret of my soul.
You are fortunate to have found this place. The Hollow Marshes swallow life and regurgitate only the dead.
Be welcome to the sanctuary. Amadia's
Gareth would know what to do. So close your sweet eyes and rest your wee head.
A young man in oversized armor paces around a table covered with a spread of maps. His face a
Every approach blocked. Oh, damn it. What good are battle tactics against those things anyway?
He glances up. In quick succession, he becomes aware of both your presence and the fact that you're not a familiar face.
Who the blazes are you?
Mother of Magic, hear my prayer.
Smoke and screams, echoes of death.
I pray that you ease them
Gareth,
and see them
please
Wished
come back.
bonny bairn, now don't you cry. The birds are asleep, the moon's in the sky. The seven watch o'er us, you're safe in bed. So close your sweet eyes and rest your wee head.
Mother of Magic, hear my prayer. Protect these poor souls in their time of need. Found us.
Wished bonny bairn, now don't you cry.
Never stop.
The birds are asleep, the moon's in the sky. The seven watch o'er us, you're safe in bed.
Listen to the others.
Close your sweet eyes.
Rest, Jack.
Healing these three seekers grants
I'm here.
basically free experience.
Thank you, stranger.
And
You should have
also,
sent to others first, though.
at the end of the Fort Joy sequence, there's a battle between the Seekers and the Magisters. I have never not healed them, but these three become like available fighters for the Seekers. I imagine it leads to there being less enemies for you to fight when the battle comes.
You healed me. How did you... Oh, never mind. I don't care how. I only care that today won't be my last.
He nods with a determined grimace.
A lot of what happened was a blur after I was hit. But I do remember the screams. From those shrieker monstrosities and my own brethren screaming in pain. Those magisters are gonna pay in blood for what they did to us.
If my mother were here, she'd box my ears for not being able to thank you properly. Though I reckon that walloping from the Reds was punishment enough. Take this, at least. It'll have to do. Thank you.
Please, heal them all.
In an instant, my wounds have all but vanished. I didn't think. I was certain I wouldn't. Thank you. I wish I had a fitting way to thank the person who saved my life. As it is, all I can offer is, well, it's not much, but maybe you'll find some use for it. Thank you.
How do you have so much power?
I'm glad you're safe now.
We aren't really safe here, are we?
So long as Gareth returns, we will be.
So I'd wanted to cut out a lot more of the shop, purchases and inventory management than what I did, but I actually left some of the stuff into the secret camp because this is one of the best opportunities you get early on to actually get better skills, better spells specifically. And there are some skills in Fort Joy Ghetto, but there are better ones out here, so I want to leave them in to show you that you can get them from, these traders here.
The fog is lifting.
We aren't really safe here, are we?
So long as Gareth returns, we will be. You're certain it was Verdus?
He said his name. They didn't do that much. But still.
You tried your best, Han.
Healed?
I'm glad you're safe now.
I'm healed.
We aren't really safe
What?
here, are we?
Please.
So long as
What?
Gareth returns, we will be. You're certain it was Verdus?
He said his name. They even knew that much. But still.
You tried your best, Han. I'm glad you're safe now.
We aren't really safe here, are we?
So long as Gareth returns, we will be.
Healed? I'm healed.
You're certain it was Verdus?
He said his name. They even knew that much. But still.
The fog
You
is
tried your
lifting.
best, Han. I'm glad you're safe now.
We aren't really safe here, are we?
So long as Gareth returns, we will be. You're certain it was Verdus?
He said his
As always, everybody, thank you so much for
lands a
watching.
comradely slap on
We will
His
pick up
story
next
goes
time, I believe,
before war
either
service.
searching for Gareth, who is the leader of the Seekers, or we'll be doing some of the other random quests just to gain XP and get some levels so we can tackle some of the harder boss fights on this area. And if you liked the video, don't forget to give it a like, comment, and subscribe. I'll catch you next time.